Day 29. We are back. And this is a shout out to back in the beginning when I did a white layout. Now I'm doing black and white using the same collection. This is the charcoal swatch collection by 49 and Market. If it's still available, you'll see it in a link in the description. And I absolutely love this collection. It is grays and whites and blacks. I'm also going to be using some of the Vicky Bouton metallic paint through one of her older stencils. And it doesn't show up on camera, but it does add a little bit of sparkle onto the layout when you add it on top of the paper. And I just love doing that. You can go ahead and paint with this, and you might have seen that in some of my other videos where I will stamp and then inside of the stamp use these with the watercolor brush to paint inside of it. Beautiful, beautiful colors this particular paint gives. I believe she has a couple other versions of it now. This was the original metallics, so go ahead and get that. Now, I originally thought that I was going to put like the date or something in that one. I ended up it's just a little bit of something on the bottom, but it works out. So I cut down a black piece and I put it on a plain white cardstock to give a border. Now I'm using the frames. I've talked about it before, but one of the things I love in the color swatch collection is the frames. I think the frames add a lot, and in this particular case, they give you two 4x4s, two 4x6s, and then some other sizes. The thing that I will tell you is that the 4x4 I am using is actually a 4x6 cut and sliced together, and you can't even tell. If I hadn't said anything, you might not have noticed. So, just as a reminder, your supplies make them work for you. I tell people that all the time. You don't have to keep those particular frames because of the way they are. You can see it right there where I've cut it up and put it as a 4x4. I needed two 4x4s. I'd already used one of the 4x4s, so I'm cutting this up to make it a 4x4. And it worked and it's perfect, and you really cannot tell when you actually look at the layout itself. Now, in this one, I put it down, I cut the picture, I put the frame down too close to one side, but I just cut it and it works out. Now, I really wanted to use these white rub-ons, but I didn't like any of these titles. And for a hot minute, I thought about cutting it up and finding the letters I needed. And I thought, no, that'll just waste that. And I'm not in that kind of a headspace. So instead, I went to the other rub ons, still didn't find anything. So I'm going to take a break from the title and go to the film strips. So these film strips were actually from the Spectrum Gardenia collection, and they are the black and white film strips. So loved those. Put a film strip on each page, on each picture, different sizes, different colors. The black one that I end up putting on the upper right hand corner doesn't really show up that well, but it's just enough texture and shine to kind of add to it. And you can see the light hitting that Vicky Bouton metallic on above my picture on the upper left. It catches the light just right, doesn't it? You can see that. I really, really recommend just using it if you just want a little bit of bling. So now I'm pulling out, I think these are Heidi Swap letters, I believe. I can't remember. Yeah, Heidi Swap. And I am going to put my title here just on my glass mat so that I can move it, get the letters out so I don't have to worry about it. Now, this is another thing. I love this glass mat. I know we've talked about it a few times on different ones of some of my different pages, but the glass mat, you can stick stuff on it and pull it off and use it. It's a ink mixing board. It's a sticker place for a while. It's a grid because I can measure with it. If you are looking for a good surface to scrapbook on, I highly recommend. I cut on it. I can use my knife right on there. So a lot of things are good about that glass mat. And now these are old type font stickers. I believe they are actually Felicity Jane before they closed kind of their kits and that I had gotten. And I have those in both white and black. So I use those to spell the and. And you're going to see my title in a second. It's Date Night and Tacos. There is nothing better than finding a new taco place, which is what we did here. The reason I ended up not using Best Ever is because although John loved it, I didn't think it was the best ever. So, is really fancy tacos, which, fancy Mexican food to me is not Mexican food. Mexican food should be cheesy and greasy. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But so that is the difference, which is why I didn't use best ever. The night was fun, the food was good. It just wasn't the best ever. So, end up doing the date night and tacos, which I think is fine. It's a good title. It's actually kind of what this was. And I have been trying more to actually like get up and do my hair and put on real clothes. I don't know, those of you that work from home, it this year has been particularly hard for me. I've spent more time in pajamas and sweatpants than I have the last couple years. I think it's just because I get up early and I go to work upstairs, and then I just make dinner, and then John will be like, "Do you want to go out?" And I think to myself, then I have to put on real clothes. So I'm trying to put on real clothes from the morning and start and actually be ready. And this was one of those times where I got up, I had on real clothes, John had on real clothes, and we went out and we planned a date night versus a lot of times we just go out and, it's just around town. So this was an actual date night, so that was super fun. These are two black and white bows I had left from a 49th and Market, the Spectrum Gardenia Ultimate Page Kit. I had two bows left, so I used those on here. And now I'm going to pull out the laser cuts. All of these color swatch collections have a lot of laser cuts with them. There's usually a floral or a butterfly one, and then one with what I call bits and pieces. This one has things like titles and stamps and the trim. So I'm going to pull out some of those in both black and white to use and just put them around the page. You're seeing that I'm using like the tags and some of the words. It is a lot of fun just to kind of piece these things together. One of the things that's helped me quite a bit use these 49th and Market collections is I did use a lot of the Ultimate Page Kits. So because I've been using the Ultimate Page Kits, I got a feel for how to layer up and how to put these embellishments together. Because for those, you actually just, it shows you which parts of the page kit to use, which parts of the laser kit to use, and you pick them up and put them down in those places. And what it's done is now that I've done three or four of the Ultimate Page Kits, I can see, oh, I can put this on this, and I layer this here, and okay, put this up on foam, and it's given me a better use or better practice of using all of these pieces and putting them together. Just like anything, scrapbooking is about what you're used to and what you're comfortable with. So it does take some practice to do something new. So using this kind of a collection for me has taken some practice. If you are like me and you're used to kind of the classic scrapbook collections that weren't as vintagey, that weren't as layered as these are, a lot of these are about layering pieces. I really recommend getting those page kits and trying that because those will give you a feel for doing it and do the 4 pages in a page kit once and then come back to a collection and see if that helps you out. Because once you've done the collection, once you've done the page kit, coming back to the collection is super easy. You'll see, oh, I know if I put the button on top of this white tag and then layer it next to a word phrase with a cute little frame underneath it, like I did on the bottom right, all of that goes together. And then I'm adding these stamps in. Normally, I mean, why would you put stamps on this? Well, because the stamps are fun and they're there and it's exciting. And in the page kits, they show you how to use the stamps kind of as background pieces for other parts of the collection. So that's what I'm doing. I'm adding that to there. It makes the button pop because the two kind of anchors that button in that space. Same thing with the butterfly. It anchors that butterfly. So I'm putting all of those around. I've really enjoyed making this page. To me, it feels like a page kit page without being a page kit page because I've added so much of the kind of the bits and pieces. The last thing I'm going to do is I do have these black gems from Pink Fresh. I will link to the gems if they're available from my little scrapbook store. That's where I get them. These are just a great way to add that last little piece onto any collection. I have used these in a bunch of different colors and it is super fun. I really liked doing this page. I'm enjoying doing the Scraptember. I'm hoping that I can get all 30. Full disclosure, I made this page the same day that I made page 3 up in the front, which was the white 12 by 12, same collection. And at this point, I'm hoping that I can get all 31 pages done before September even starts. And then we will be able to post those each day in September, and you'll be able to see all the different collections or all the different pages that I can make using these prompts. This kind of a challenge is fun for me. It helps me scrapbook more. I probably would not do 31 pages videos in September if it wasn't for this kind of thing. So I want to say thank you to the Katie from the Scrappy Sisters. And this particular challenge has been wonderful. I've enjoyed it so much, and hopefully, you'll see 2 more pages from me. There'll be an up close of both the title, so you can see some of that Vicky Booten paint, and the overall page. Thanks for watching, and I will see you for 2 more days in Scraptember. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.